think it's recording.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, now you know. Hi everybody, and welcome to my page. This is the Kimberly Ann Facebook page, and I'm Kimberly Ann. And I've noticed that I've gotten a few more people who've liked my page, and I want to welcome you. A lot of you who liked me in the beginning are the friends that I knew in high school and have met via other people. But in the latter, a lot of you I don't know personally, and you look to be from the other part of the United States, and I want to say welcome and thank you. Let me introduce myself. I'm Kim, and I go by Kimberly Ann, my pen name, Kimberly Ann, and I reside here in Marietta, California, which is probably an hour south of Riverside and an hour north of San Diego. And I've been here for over 20 somewhat years now. And I wanted to give you a little history on the book I've written. My previous video that I posted was about the re-editing of Sweet Kiss of Darkness. That was my very first novel, my very first attempt. And I actually wrote it based on the area I live in. And also there's a place that I hike at all the time. I've been taking a sort of a break on the hiking thing because I've been with my nose in the books and the notebooks and stuff like that. Santa Rosa Plateau is a preserve that's located in the hillside, the mountain range just west of us here. And when I was up there hiking all the time with my family, I always used to just kind of imagine what it would be like, or what kind of a story I could get out of a vampire lurking in the shadows. Because when you hike up here, a lot of you I know have hiked before. You get those really old oak trees, you know, the kind that have those branches that curve and turn and twist and pop off in all directions, and sometimes the tree is so old you picture the hand of an older woman or man that has arthritis, you know, it's all crinkly. These trees up here are so old. They're the Engelmann oaks, a couple hundred years old actually. And you also have these huge boulders that the trees grow around, and then a lot of sagebrush and wheatgrass. So you have a lot of stuff growing up there, and it's awesome. It's a beautiful place to be. And sometimes when you're hiking up there and you get into an area of the plateau that's secluded, you get that eerie feeling of eyes on you. You can feel someone watching. And usually we always used to say, it's a mountain lion, it's following you, it's going to get you, or it's the coyotes, and hey, you never know, it could have been. But as usual, those animals are shy to the humans, so they kind of keep hidden, but you can feel them. You can feel their energy. So when I started talking about it and joking about it, I thought, you know, wouldn't it be kind of a cool story if it was a vampire that was watching you and following you and lurking on you? And then that's when I started coming up with the story, Sweet Kiss of Darkness. And I had to use some kind of scenario. So, believe it or not, the very first time, the very first moment I picked up a pen and I started writing, the title was going to be The Ranger. And as I wrote, I thought, well, I want this character to be a vampire, but the Ranger doesn't give you that vampiric feel. You kind of, when you hear the Ranger, you kind of think, you know, psychotic cowboy instead of a vampire. So I wanted it to be a vampire story, so I kind of tossed out the Ranger as my title, and then I came up with Sweet Kiss of Darkness. Why Sweet Kiss of Darkness? Because in the book, the character Annie, or her actual name is Anise, she describes Mikhail's kiss as being sweet. And being that he's a vampire, he lurks in the darkness. So it's the Sweet Kiss of Darkness. That's how I came up with the title. And went with it. And wrote the story and rewrote it and rewrote it and rewrote it and rewrote it. To give notice, I want to give notice to a few people who helped me with this book, because I was not a writer. I was just a woman with a dream and an idea and the gumption to just do it, go for it. And I went to a friend who works with me. His name's Travis. Oh, that's my dog. Um, he was going to school at the time when we were working together, and he actually gave me some pointers and some ideas about the book and the story. So I wanted to give thanks to you. Thank you, Travis. I don't know if you're going to ever see this, but he was there to help me out. My friend Linda, who I worked with, who was an avid reader. She loves to read. And also, I have Andrew. He never read the book, though. He never would read it. It was his belief system at that moment, his belief system. He just didn't want to read it. He was more into... Andrew was the Twilight guy. He liked the Twilight movies, so I don't think he ever read it. Did you, Andrew? I don't know. But anyway, he also gave me some pointers. And then there was a boy named Wesley who I asked to help me out because he was going to college at the time, and he apparently was like this genius and very bright and was an English major. And I hope everything has gone great for him, because he really sat down with me. We shared a coffee in a Starbucks, and he went with me line per line and explained things to me about writing. And he says, I know this is not my kind of book, this is not my type of story, but you're doing really well. I would just be careful with this, this, and this. That was my first, wow, I'm actually gonna do this feeling. And I went with it, and I just kept going. Unfortunately, I would go back. I am my biggest critic. I will criticize my stuff more than I should, I believe. When I would paint, I do the same thing. I would criticize horribly. I was never satisfied. I think I have one painting that I absolutely adore, and that is of a red-tailed hawk, and it's perched on a branch. I think that's the only painting I've ever done that I've actually liked. And then, so with the book, I was like, oh, why did I write that? Oh, why did I write that? I think I rewrote that book many times. Also, the character Mikkel, when I created him, I wanted to give him an entire chapter just for him. And it was making the book too long, and the way that I was piecing it together wasn't making any sense, and it wasn't readable. So I took all that out and left Sweet Kiss of Darkness based on this woman, Annie, and just made the story about her experiences with Mikkel and her turn into a vampire. And then I brought in some other folks, a couple of other characters to hold the story together. So I took all the information I had on my vampire Mikkel, and I wrote a book based on him. And I gave the reader an entire background on Mikkel, and where he was born, where he went, how he ended up in the Americas, how he turned, what he did, up into the point where he meets Annie. So Mikkel, A Vampire's Tale, is based on that character, and it just gives you more of a background on that guy. Then my second two books, the third and fourth book, I should say, were totally off the beaten path of vampirism and more into the werewolf myth. And these stories take place in the Midwest. I want to say Indiana, Ohio area, kind of like in there. And I say that because my family, my father's family, is from Ohio, and I had recently been in that part of the country, and I had seen a lot of stuff with the scenery, and I knew about the wolves up in Yellowstone and up in Wisconsin, and unfortunately the hunt of the wolves, which I don't like. I'm against hunting wolves. And I made the story based on a woman again, and how she comes into contact with a whole, I want to say, clan of werewolves, which is a family by the last name of Minnick. And she gets intertwined with Grayson Minnick and falls in love, and you know, then true love blossoms, and she becomes part of that clan. And the cabin at Lake Lenape introduces her to Grayson, takes you into her meeting with him, falling in love with him, marrying him, becoming one with his clan. Then after that, I wrote a book called The Minix, which is a sequel to The Cabin at Lake Lenape, which concentrates more on the family, but also on another person of family of interest who is a real poop. She's just gives this family hell. And took that on further to give you a sense of continuation of the family line or an ending. And then I always like to give my stories a happy ending. I could be kind of cliche for some of you, but that's how I am. I mean, there's going to be some trauma and some death in my stories, but the main characters, I like them to, you know, live on for another day, another time. That's why I don't kill my vampires off. I keep them going. I keep them striving. I don't want to kill them off. Why do you have to kill off the vampire? I never understood that. I hate that. I hate when you do a movie or write a book and they always kill the vampire off. No, not me. Sorry, I don't do that. They live on forever and ever and ever like it was intended. So the last 2 books that I did is based in the Midwest and based on werewolves and the lycanthrope. And as you probably would have guessed, for you newcomers who've scrolled the page, saw a book cover, and it has a guy on the front kind of grinning, and he's got the gold eyes. That's going to be the 5th book, Blood Wolf. And that's a branch off of the lycanthrope series from the Minnick family. And the main character is Gabriel Minnick, who is the son of Grayson Minnick. And we're going to take a little trip down his road to see how he's dealing with what he's been born into. So that's what the 5th book's going to be about, and that's not going to be done, folks, until probably next year. Sorry. I've started writing it right away because I already had stuff in my head brewing, and when this whole situation with Sweet Kiss of Darkness popped up, I decided to put Blood Wolf down for a while and work on that. So I'm working on the editing process, as you've known. Previous video, I already talked about it. So that's what I'm doing right now. So anyway, to all you newcomers, you get the book and read it. I have a website you can go to. I always try to get people to go to my website. It's posted on the page along with my email. You could email me some comments or some reviews or some thoughts or whichever. You could go to my website and leave a review, or you could just post here on my page because I have no problem with it. Anybody can post on my page. You can let me know what you think about my stories, about my books. Be as honest as possible, but please, I beg you, keep it nice. Don't be crude about it. I mean, I don't know you personally. Don't make it a personal attack. Just be honest. Be honest about it. Say, I really, think you're a great writer, but I also think you have a lot of work to do. Stuff like that. I encourage it. I want it. I enjoy the feedback. I love the feedback. So, to all of you who've liked my page, welcome again. I hope you hang around for a long time and follow me on my journey and enjoy the videos I make. And hey, anytime, please feel free to comment. I guess until the next time I make a video, which probably won't be for a while, not until things are done and moving along. This is more of a welcome to my page video, and just something to say thank you to everybody who's liked my page so far. And yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know what else to say. Just welcome. And I guess I'll talk to you guys soon. And have a great weekend. And have a great Thanksgiving. Oh gosh, it's that time already. Woo! Thanksgiving. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day.